Hi everybody, it's Phil Clerkin. I'm director at Libertas.
Hi, and it's Julie Preston. I'm a financial advisor at Libertas.
We just wanted to put something out today, which was plans over Christmas. We always, being in financial planners, I always use the Christmas period to obviously have some time off with the family, reset, enjoy some time where you're not thinking about work. But also, it's the link that's that when the new year starts, actually looking at the goals for the year ahead and what your plans are and what you need to do. So I always take a few hours out to actually look at what it is that I want to achieve with no interruptions, lock myself away in a room with the laptop and just make some notes. And I find that actually quite a cathartic process because it really, really helps me crystallize my thoughts, put some plans in place, and then I can forget about them and just enjoy the rest of the holiday period. I think when we do that, it feels like we've made some progress towards a goal, and then you're making it simple for yourself when you come back in the new year, back to start the new year. Often people have resolutions and this type of thing. It's not such a big job to start that resolution. It might be just making a phone call, doing something on a regular basis, creating a habit. So all of those things, I think, for me, are very, very important. And when we're looking at, planning in general, things like investments and things that change on a very, very regular basis, they tend to change constantly anyway. So there's nothing really that we can do about those. There's no plans that we can put into place. So the things that Julie and I have spoken about recently being risks and the constant evolution of markets, that can constantly change. And some of these things do worry people unnecessarily when sometimes there can't be anything to actually do about it.
Yeah, I think people this year, they can't wait for 2020 to be over and looking forward to next year. And we've had so much that's happened in this year, really good news on the vaccine. And now we've got Brexit. Brexit is heavily in the news at the moment. So there may be some people who are worried about their investments and their pensions and the impact about what Brexit is going to have. And now in the news, there's going to be talks that it's going to be resumed with a final bid to reach a deal. And we don't know really what's going to be happening with that. So because of that uncertainty, that brings volatility in with our investments. But actually, it also brings buying opportunity. So when prices are going down, that gives an opportunity to investors to buy, which may necessarily have been if Brexit hadn't been around. So I think the most important thing for an investor that's invested with investments, typically a pension, is not to have knee-jerk reactions, because they could have had knee-jerk reactions definitely this year. We have seen markets go up and down, especially when we went into lockdown in March. And if people would have had a knee-jerk reaction then and wanted to come out of their investments, they actually would have been at a disadvantage now. So I think it's really important to take stock of what you've got. And actually, once the deal is finalised with Brexit, I think that should make the markets settle and bring certainty around that. So as long as you know what you've got and you have a plan and you're in the investment that you should be in, actually Brexit shouldn't be a huge concern of yours.
I agree. It's sometimes those things you can't do anything about. You can worry about them unnecessarily. You can make changes. So if for instance, risk is something you're just very, very worried about and you want the storm to pass, well, you can always do something around that. But doing things about the actual negotiations themselves, people do worry about it. It's in the media all the time. And, there's very little you can do because you don't know what the resulting effects are, and the leaders in Parliament don't know anything about what's actually going to happen with the decisions that they make right now either. So there are long-term plans for things that you can change, and shorter term that you don't necessarily have the same input into, but you can always make steps to mitigate those risks as much as you can. And certainly from what we've seen with portfolios in recent times, we have seen a reduction in volatility from the portfolios, sometimes because they move to safer investments on an ongoing basis. And it's really how those portfolios are working really well in comparison to, let's say, the FTSE or various markets like that, especially the property market, which residential property has done very well, but commercial property has done very poorly. So it's really, having somebody to keep an eye on those things. So certainly from my point of view, I do exactly the same thing. I don't have to worry about that because I know there's somebody looking at that on an ongoing basis for me in my own portfolio. But again, this all leads into enjoying the holidays, having time with family, your own well-being, and making sure everything is aligned so that you can carry on doing what you do and you do on a normal basis. So taking those positive steps is really important. And it may just
I think what you've just said there, Phil, as well about well-being, that's so important, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. And that's part of the reason that I do these planning blocks, if you like, over the Christmas period, because it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking going back to the office is a big change, or making the steps that I need to make throughout that year. I know that all my goals are aligned because it's what I want to achieve and for the reasons that I want to achieve them, which is really important to well-being. Yeah. So yeah, I think
it's not putting your head in the sand as well, isn't it? And over worrying about things that you shouldn't really be worrying about. I talked about Brexit before. That's a typical example of a worry that people may have. However, if they are invested correctly, they shouldn't really have that worry because they have appointed a professional, you, me, our investment managers, to look after that for them. So that we have already taken all of those things into consideration, haven't we?
It's true.
Yeah. So just being clear about what you have, being clear about your goals, going into the new year is a really good time to take stock of what you've got. Start to get things out, see am I in the right thing? Do I need to get that reviewed? And having a really positive frame of mind going into the new year. If you're invested for the longer term, you're already positioned to mitigate any undue risks. So you shouldn't really feel uncertain about going into the new year, I think.
I think a lot of people will be pleased to get this year over, as you said earlier on.
Yeah.
And certainly with regards to looking at the way different things work, and certainly I've been doing the analysis this morning on the portfolios, and a stark difference. Obviously, the FTSE 100 is quoted in the UK as the main exchange. That's down by 6% at the beginning of December, and our moderate portfolios are up by 12. So there's a difference there of 18% if you're invested fully in the FTSE 100 to one of our balanced moderate risk portfolios. You'd be 18% better off, which is huge. It really is, and that's while mitigating some risk there as well.
Yeah.
So we're running an investments webinar. So anybody that wants to join that, we'll be doing those in January. The details of that will be in the notes below. So feel free to come along to that. It'll be very interesting. And we have a technology company, Clever, who we work very, very closely with, and also a discretionary fund manager who bolts in exactly what they do, utilizing the data that comes through Clever to offer portfolios, risk-rated portfolios to our clients, and hopefully mitigate some of the worry that people have around their investments. We can give them a little bit more information on that and how they do in comparison to the markets. So that's it from us. I hope everybody enjoys their Christmas and New Year and comes back fresh and looking forward to 2021.
Happy Christmas, everybody.
Happy Christmas.